Hello, and welcome to part two of Drinks with D, the transitional phase. For this video, I know the last one we talked a little bit about my Chicago experience, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about my experience of coming from Chicago to LA. So basically, what happened is um, I kind of had like a waking a moment, and I was like, what am I doing here in Chicago? Like, it's been great, it's been real, it's been so much fun. I really just need to go somewhere else. Like, I need to get to LA, and my parents were finally supporting me to make the big change. So, basically, I got the approval from my parents. We got everything worked out with the school. They got me transferred over, and then my job at Zara, they were also going to be transferring me over into LA. So I was like, okay, cool, this is so great. I can start my life, and everything's going to be just amazing. So I was so pumped. And it was really stressful though, like just getting everything ready and just like everything I had to do. So I went back home for a couple weeks, and this is after like we moved me out of my apartment that I was staying at, and I was staying back home for a couple weeks and just kind of experienced being with my friends again, saying goodbye, seeing my family, and just because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to come back until Christmas, and this was like during the summer. So my parents, they helped me. They got me packed up. They had my car all packed up, and my dad, he's amazing when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I was like, "You can pack my car. I'm gonna sit back over here, and I'm gonna drink a glass of wine." And so it was really great. Like everything fit. I did have some issues though with like I was supposed to have like someone come with me, just because it's from Ohio to California, it's like 3,000 miles of driving, and I had my cat with me, Wally. He's so adorable. I have no idea where he's at. Here he is. He hates me. He was sleeping. So I had him with me, and it was just, I needed to have someone else with me. And my original friend, she couldn't. She got laid off from work, so she didn't really have the money. Even though like everything was gonna be paid for, like my parents were paying for the flight for them to come back, like when they got to LA, stay with me for a few weeks, and then they were gonna fly them back. My parents were paying for that, the hotels, the gas, everything. Like the only thing like my anyone had to worry about was just like food, getting their own food, and shopping or like whatever else they wanted to do. So it became like an issue just for her because she got fired, and she's wasn't really sure like what was gonna go on. She had bills she had to pay, and she had to make sure like she had enough money to last her, which I completely understand. So one of my friend Broman was like, he's like, why didn't you ask Renee, our other friend? And I was like, I have no idea. I was like, I completely forgot. Like, she's really good friends with Roman and Kennedy, my two friends who live in LA, and I've known her since I was 17. We've always had such a great time. I was like, like, why didn't I ask her? So I asked her, and she was totally down and was like, yeah, I'm gonna come with you. Like, it's gonna be so much fun. We didn't really plan a lot, which could have, it was probably like my fault. I guess I didn't want to think about it, and I thought it was just gonna be a easy, just like driving, GPS, whatever, and we could stop if we ever felt like it, or I don't know. I thought it'd be different, and she was just kind of like whatever too about it. So we ended up driving, and we were drinking so much energy drinks like when it came to that day, and we took Adderall because we're both like OCDs, so like we were on Adderall, and we're driving, and just like we were just like, we need to get there. Like, our goal was to get to Colorado our first day. So we drove all the way from Columbus, Ohio to Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Question mark on the name of the city. Because our friend she knew somebody who lived there. And it was like, yeah, like he said we could stay with him for the next like 2 days, and we're like, okay, like we can save money, like I could save my money that it should have been for a hotel for something else, and it was just really great. And he paid for our dinners and food and just like everything. He paid for everything. I had such a weird vibe when I first met this guy. Like at first I thought he was gonna be like a saint and like just like be like the best thing ever. And he was literally the creepiest man I've ever met in my life. Like yeah, like he paid for all of our stuff and everything, but like the way he was like talking to like my friend, like just being like, yeah, my princess, and like the way he would like look at her, and just like I was just like, oh my god, like you were so old, and the way you're talking to her is just like not right. And it just really it like creeped me out so much. And just like the way he was like, he was like, yeah, like whatever you want, you can just have it, like I don't care. He was like, as long, he's like, I'm just happy you brought my princess here. And I was like, oh, okay, like you're welcome, thank you for, I guess, letting me stay here. Like it was really weird. And like Renee and I at that time started getting like different vibes from each other. Like I could just like tell like she was mad at me, or she wasn't really excited for the rest of the trip. Like she just wasn't into it anymore. Like once we got to Colorado and we stayed there, and I was just kind of like staying in my room with like Wally, like my cat, because he couldn't go out because this guy had a dog who like, and his dog tried to like attack my cat. So we tried to like see if like they could like be cool and be friends, but like his dog like literally like tried to attack my cat, and my cat like freaked out, and I wasn't okay with that because that's my number one. And just like the whole time there was just really awkward. And we were supposed to leave this one day. I forget when it was. And it was like, we were like, okay, we're going to leave at like 11. So I woke up at like 9, got ready, was starting to pack the car up, and she's gone. And so was the guy. And I'm kind of like, maybe they went to breakfast together, like their last day together, like it's totally fine, whatever, like their last, time they had to see each other for a while. So I'm like, I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna pack the car up and just be ready so when she's here, she can get her stuff in and we can leave. And so I get a text from her, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, what do you mean you're okay? Like, am I okay? Like, I'm packing the car. And she doesn't say anything. And then so I'm in my room, just like hanging out, like just with my cat. Everything's packed. And she is there. So I come out, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna come outside. I want to know what's going on. It's like 2 o'clock at this point, and I'm like, we should have been on the road by now. Like we were supposed to get into LA that night. And I go out there, and then like the next thing I know, she's telling me like, I'm like, so like, when do you think we should leave? And she goes, I don't think I'm gonna come with you to the rest of the way. And I look at her, and I'm like, what do you mean you're not gonna come? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. And she's like, well, she's like, I don't know. It's just like, it seems weird. Like, I feel like I don't know anything. And I feel like you and I are going to go there. Like, we're both from Ohio, and we just have vulnerable, like, ran across our head. And the first thing I said, like, I thought popped in my head, and I told her, like, when she told me that, I was like, bitch, I was like, I lived in Chicago for the past 3 years. I know how to handle myself in a big city. You're the one who's from Columbus, Ohio, and you're the one who's scared. And this man, he is like everything like whenever we brought up LA, he was always like, oh, it's awful. Like the people there are just so bad. Like you have to be 6 foot and like have abs and like be beautiful in order to like have a life there. Like you're not gonna succeed if you don't look like that. And I was like, okay, well, I don't think I look that bad. So I don't really think I'll have an issue. And it's just like all the negative things that he was saying, I think he was telling her. And it came to a point where she just was like scared. And so I told her at this point, I was like, you know what? I was like, if you don't want to come with me, then fine, I'm going to leave. And I got my cat, got in my car, and I drove away. And I told her, I was like, good luck to you. Thank you for, I guess, making it halfway here. And I'm sorry things didn't work out. So then I ended up driving the rest of the way. I had to stop in Utah one night. I get into LA. Traffic wasn't bad. It wasn't like crazy or anything. It was 4th of July, and I thought it was going to be insane. it wasn't really that bad. Checked into my hotel, dropped off my cat, gave him like so much food and water, packed another little like overnight bag kind of thing, and took a metro down to San Diego to go hang out with my friend Roman for the July, and stayed there for like 4 or 5 days. Came back, and he stayed with me, and then we found an apartment, and everything was really great. It was just like everything like worked out at this point. And but yeah, like then once my whole vacation period like ended, like I was starting school, then I was starting work, and then I was at Zara like here on the West Coast. And like from my last video, when I was telling you like when I would greet people and be like, you know, hello, welcome, blah blah blah, when I did that here, like this is what I would get from people. I'd be like, hello, how are you? This is what they would do, and walk away, not with a tail in their face. But they would do like just like kind of like, I don't care, like why are you talking to me? And I didn't like know how to handle that. I was kind of like taken back by that. I was like, and then I would say to myself like, oh, why did I even say hi if you're not even going to acknowledge me? And then I remembered I needed a job to pay my rent. So and then when I was going to school, like starting out, like I really didn't make a lot of friends. Like everyone there was like, they already know each other, like they already have like their little groups, and I'm just like some random person that like popped in. So it was like really rough, and I'm still trying to make friends there. Like I mean I have like a couple who I like talk to, and they're really great, and they're really nice people, and they're originally from California. So at least I know that not everyone from California is like that. It's just some people who feel like they have to be something that they're not. I don't know. I don't know like what the whole thing is with some people there. It's just like people are just, they're not as nice when you come to the West Coast when you're from the Midwest. And I think we from the Midwest always expect people to be super nice and really great, and that's just, it's not how it is here. Um, I've had to like, when I was at work, I've had to get on my knees and cuff someone's pants up because they didn't want to do it for whatever reason. And I've had people before where like they dropped, no, when I was putting stuff in their fitting room and I accidentally dropped a top, they made me go to the back and get them a brand new one because they were like, you dropped it, it's dirty, like that's your responsibility. And I was like, I work at Zara, I don't work at Chanel. So I don't know. It's been a really big slap in the face. But at the same time, though, I mean, that's the negative. The positive, the people I have met who are originally from California and who have lived in this kind of area are probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. So if you are someone who's coming out to LA, don't think you need to be something you're not. Don't try to become this fake ass bitch, because the people who actually live here and have been here their whole lives are the nicest people you'll ever meet. So don't be something that you're not, and that's what a lot of people are doing when they're here. Another thing too is I've got a lot of great opportunities. I got a new job. I work in West Hollywood. I'm a buyer for the store. I have an internship downtown where I work with the vice president of design for the handbags. So I'm working with her and then like sending a book off to corporate, and had some, you know, different styling jobs, and I've been starting to network with a lot of different people and to kind of see like where things are going to go. So if you are someone who really wants to get farther in life, LA is the place to go. It's a hard transition. It sucks at first, but once you've been here for a little bit and you understand people, you will know that it's really not that bad. And the people that are originally from here are probably the nicest people you ever meet. The people that you're going to meet who are really rude are people who aren't from here and they think they have to be something that they're not. So just keep working it and drink a glass of wine and get through the day. And that's the end of my transitional period of part 2, the LA part. So keep in tune. I'm thinking about my next video to talk a little bit about the crazy stuff that I see on Facebook. Running through a red light and then making a status about it later. Why? Those are the things I'm going to be talking about next week, and I'm so excited. Love you. Bye.